Welcome, Shinji Kagawa. It's great that you're here today. You're the most successful Japanese player in Bundesliga history with 38 goals. Which was your best goal?
Yeah.
Well, any goal against Schalke is the best goal.
That is best.
Good to hear. It's always fantastic to score against the Royal Blues. How do you describe the derby to the people back in Japan?
It was the decisive game that changed everything for me.
Most footballers listen to music when they arrive at the stadium. What do you listen to get you in the mood for a game?
There are some Japanese songs, some non-Japanese ones as well, American music, songs that get me motivated.
Hey Shinji, my friend.
Hi Shinji, my friend. I hope all's well with you, and I just have one quick question. Could you tell us what was it like in 2011 when you were our waiter in the bar and pulled pints? Have fun and see you soon.
Ja, viel Spaß euch und Grüße.
覚えてねえな。でまあケビンとはしょっちゅう一緒にお酒を飲んだりしてたからあの時は。
I don't remember it. I used to go out with Kevin quite a lot. I have too many memories from that time. As I recall, it's Kevin who has some explaining to do. So my question to him is, do you still do things like that?
お前はもうそういうのなくなったのかっていうのを聞きたいですけど。
We'll get on to that and ask Kevin himself. What do you miss from Japan?
Early on, there were a few things I missed. The food, the people, the towns and cities. But now I don't feel any longing to go back to Japan. The opposite, actually. I think life is better here.
Away from the football field, you are a great role model. You donate 1% of your wages to Common Goal, a charity doing great work in the community. So you're aware of your social responsibility. Why do you support this project? And what do you like about it?
Warum unterstützt du das Projekt und warum findest du das gut?
いやまずマンチェスターで同じチームメイトだったマタからそういう話をいただいて。
My former teammate at Manchester United, Juan Mata, was the first to talk to me about it. I thought it was a really interesting opportunity to do something good. I've always wanted to help people, particularly children, who are less fortunate than me. And then I was offered the chance to do this. What's even better is that I can decide what happens with the 1% of my wage I donate. I can say which country and which project I want my money to go towards. I really thought this was a thing worth doing, so I was very keen to get involved with it.
自分発信できるので、そういうのもすごくやりがいを感じて、今回そういう、話をいただいたんで、ぜひやらせてほしいという話をしました。
So, jetzt machen wir noch ein schönes.
Let's take a picture.
Da ist, warte, so, ja. Yeah.
So bye for now. Shinji, all the best to you. I'll carry you onto the pitch myself and then you can score the goals. Goodbye.
Hallo, ich hätte eine Currywurst mit Pommes.
Mayonnaise?
Ja, mit Mayo.
Ja, dann
Okay, danke schön.
Currywurst. Cult and culture at the same time. in the Ruhr district at any rate. With fries and mayo on the side, it is a national favourite. Shinji Kagawa has certainly got a taste for the culinary delight. A currywurst and a stroll round the Phoenixsee Lake has become a favourite pastime. But that wasn't always the case.
When I first came to Dortmund, I had no idea what to expect. I knew nothing about the city or the team.
He left Japan in summer 2010 at the tender age of 21. Think travelling halfway round the globe to Dortmund was a culture shock? Think again. Kagawa settled in straight away and established himself in the first team. Only the language barrier presented a problem ahead of the derby.
I didn't understand what the fans were singing, but I knew the derby was coming up and how important victory in the derby is. So I could sort of work out what the fans were demanding.
There is nothing vague about the passion of the Revier derby, however, and the new arrival from the Far East experienced that firsthand on September the 19th in Gelsenkirchen.
Of course, I sensed that it was a special game. Players were more aggressive in the tackle. It just happens automatically, as you're desperate not to lose against those opponents. There were jeers, naturally, like at any away game, but that gives us players extra motivation to say we really want to win in this stadium now. The whistles spur us on, I think. I was confused at first. The opposition fans had been so loud, and now the stadium was deadly quiet. I remember that well. And when I saw the emotion in my teammates when they celebrated the goal, I knew this is the derby, and I've scored an important goal.
It was only 90 minutes of football, and yet they shaped Shinji Kagawa's life and career. The freshly minted fans' favourite realised what this meant on the side's return to Dortmund.
It was quite embarrassing, really. So many fans had waited for the bus to return to celebrate our victory, and they lifted me up and carried me. It was quite embarrassing for me. But I've been here for long enough now to realise that it wasn't a normal evening and that it was a very special goal. It was one of the highlights of my career.
The Revier derby, like the currywurst, it is a cultural phenomenon in the Ruhr district, and Shinji is a true role model for integration. What's more, he recognises his position as an ambassador. The limitless energy that the derby exudes can be an inspiration for football in his home country.
The rivalry between the cities arose and grew through football. Everyone's proud of their team, and the determination not to lose this game gives you added strength. This feeling of togetherness is unknown in Japan. I'd like to explain to Japanese football fans that this is real football. If we could establish a derby culture in Japan, football would attract even more fans, and football would be the sport through which people would be able to realise their expectations and dreams.
なっていくんじゃないかなと思います。
Kagawa is living his dream. His performances against our local rivals have helped. He's taken everything on board that seemed so strange 7 years ago. Dortmund versus Schalke, not just any old game.
やはり自分自身1年目スタート最初のシーズンでね、やっぱシャルケ戦が
That was my first season in Dortmund, and my standing suddenly changed after the game against Schalke. I realised how important the derby is. Perhaps that's why I'm so up for the derby.
すごく理解してると思ってるんで、だからより燃えてくるんじゃないかなと思いますけど。
Shinji Kagawa, a Japanese player who lives, feels and thinks like a true Dortmunder. All that is left to complete the cultural transformation is giving interviews in the local dialect.
No.
No.
OK, we won't force you. After all, the 28-year-old speaks the universal language in Dortmund.
Dankeschön.
Goals in the derby. Dominik Vanner, one of the hottest prospects in our under-19 side. Reigning German champion and now freshly crowned scorer of the BVB World Goal of the Month.
It's an honour to have been selected by the viewers. It can't have been an easy decision with the choices available. I'm delighted, and it makes me hungry for more success.
He won't forget his long-range rocket in a hurry. A sumptuous strike that set the team on their way to victory in the derby. It doesn't get any better.
Everything came together perfectly. I turned, ran towards goal and only had one thing on my mind. I had a shot and was very happy to see the ball go in. Then the celebrations with the players in front of the home crowd. That's really great, especially in the derby.
BVB sent the Blues packing 3-1. A day to remember for the boys. From an early age, the players are imbued with a sense of what it means to beat the Ruhr district rivals.
The derby between Dortmund and Schalke is something special in the Ruhr district. You notice that the coach and his staff really push you ahead of the match. The coach didn't need to give us any extra motivation. The only thing that needs saying is that it's a derby, then everyone's up for it on the pitch. Everyone wants to get out there and give everything. Winning is all that matters.
Dominik quickly took that on board. The left winger arrived in Dortmund from Mainz 3 years ago. Since then, he's lived at the academy at the training centre, where young players grow up in ideal surroundings.
I think the main benefit is that you're next to the pitch. It only takes a minute to get to the training centre. You can go straight to the changing rooms and put in an extra shift. The only difference to home is that your free time, when you can go out, is more limited. But if you stick to the rules and things work out, it's a great life.
Yet still, not everyone makes the grade. Far from it. Dominik is determined to make it, preferably with BVB, just like his role model.
Mein Lieblingsprofi hier auch gerade von Borussia Dortmund ist Marco Reus.
My favourite player at Borussia Dortmund is Marco Reus. Even though he's injured at the moment, you can see how ambitious he is. Even in rehab, he gives everything to get back onto the pitch. That's a very important trait in football, to want to achieve a lot. And that's why Marco Reus is the player I look up to the most.
Auf den ich sehr viel schaue und auch mir auch viel abgucke.
The 18-year-old does have one thing in common with Marco now. He secured the Goal of the Month trophy. The viewers voted for Dominik, and one of them, João Silva from Brazil, was drawn as the lucky winner of a new BVB shirt. Schwarz-Gelb fans are of course hoping for more goals from Dominik against the Blues. Perhaps even for the first team one day.
The Revier Derby, Dortmund up against Schalke at the Signal Iduna Park. And form goes out the window in these derby situations, which is good for the home side Dortmund, as they've not been in the best of form of recent times. Schalke, one of the form teams in the whole of the Bundesliga. So it's been a good start from Dortmund here. Up towards the 12th minute played. They've been on top in an aggressive game so far, as the ball is flicked out towards the right-hand side. Now back in from Pulisic, it's flicked on, and it ends up in the back of the net, and it's that man, Aubameyang. His 11th goal of the season, and an all-important one here against the hated rivals, Schalke. First blood to Dortmund, and it's deserved as well. Aubameyang involved in the build-up, giving it to Pulisic, and the flick on. Just bundling the ball over the line. They don't care though, it's 1-0 Dortmund. A couple of minutes later, the pressure increasing from the black and yellows. This is Yarmolenko with a driven ball in, and Aubameyang just over the bar there. It was an uncomfortable ball to take on. As we can see there, just bounces up and he has to hit it into the ground, which sends it over the bar. Şahin with a free kick here, 18th minute. As he sends it in. And it's ended up in the back of the net. It's 2-0 Dortmund. And what was Schalke doing there? It looks as though it's a Stambouli own goal. Very embarrassing in the derby. It's a cracking ball in from Şahin. And you can see Stambouli there just stretching and sending it the other side of Ralf Fährmann in goal. 2-0 Dortmund, thoroughly deserved. As here they come again. It's Yarmolenko out to Aubameyang. And a bit of space here to take on Stambouli. And showing him a clean pair of heels. It's a lovely ball across to Götze. It's free. Well, what a start this has been from Dortmund. 3 up after 20 minutes against Schalke. This is absolutely cracking stuff. What a great goal this is. Götze's first of the season. As Aubameyang did the hard work. And Götze arriving right on cue with the cushioned header at the far stick. Lovely stuff. Dortmund machine still moving on here. They're not satisfied yet, as Pulisic plays the ball towards the edge of the box here. As the ball just rebounds up, and Guerrero hits it, and he hits it into the bottom corner. What a finish that is for 4-0 now. Dortmund are in absolute dreamland, as the Schalke players are just looking at each other. What an opening to this game. Fantastic play all round. And Guerrero with some great technique there, you can see. Just arcing the ball past Fährmann in goal. That's a wonderful finish. And a wonderful 25 minutes from Dortmund. 4 goals in 13 minutes, and Schalke react with a double substitution here. As Goretzka and Harit both come on. That's how poor they've been. Into the second half. And well, the ball is in the back of the net. Surely a consolation there for Schalke from Naldo. And let's have a look. No, the video referee says it's offside, so it remains 4-0. And Schalke look to go on the comeback trail in this second half. And a couple of minutes later. And Aubameyang, well, he's got the ball off Fährmann here, surely 5. And in the end, he just has to play the ball wide. Fährmann getting back to cause trouble for Aubameyang. It all comes from this poor back pass from Nastasic. It puts Fährmann in trouble, and he stands on the ball. And in the end, you'd have to say that should be 5. And 1 minute later, the play races down the other end. And Caligiuri, and it's clawed away by Weidenfeller in goal today for Dortmund for this derby. for the injured Bürki. He's done brilliantly here to stand big. And just past the hour mark as there's a long ball forward, and Burgstaller makes something of it and loops it over the keeper there. 4-1. Possibly game on here for Schalke. Dortmund will be hoping it's only a consolation, but that's a clever finish from the Austrian. And 4 minutes later, and Yarmolenko there, surely that's a foul, but nothing given by the referee. Play continues. Plianka faced up with the defender, and it's a lovely ball across, and it's going to be finished here by Harit. That's 4-2. Schalke now roaring back at Dortmund. Tedesco, the coach, wants even more from his team, as it was Harit who could just bring the ball down and blast it past the keeper. 25 minutes to go here. Now there's the flag raised there against Aubameyang, and he gets a yellow card, and he's already been booked. That's red. Well, with 18 minutes to go. There's the first one in 55 minutes, and now Dortmund are down to 10 men. And Schalke stand over this free kick. It's arced in, and it's off the post. What a great save that is from Weidenfeller. How did he keep that out? It was with the assistance of the post as well. And almost 4-3. As here come the Royal Blues again. Caligiuri on that right wing. 4 minutes to go. Just cutting inside here. He carries on, and he scores. It is 4-3 now. What a goal that is as well. On his left boot. And it's a grandstand finish here for Schalke, up against 10 men. And they've got 3 goals back in this second half, plus 7 minutes of time added on as well. As there's a corner here. 4 minutes into that time added on, and it's in the back of the net. It's the equaliser. Well, what drama here. 4-4 in the derby between Dortmund and Schalke. And Naldo has grabbed a late equaliser with his head. What a terrific game of football. Drama from the first minute till the last. And the Dortmund players, well, they just don't know how to react to that. That's 2 points dropped, having been 4 goals to the good after only 25 minutes. And it ends in a 4-4 draw. Well, not the best preparation for the next game up, which is next Saturday away to Bayer Leverkusen. We will see what the fallout is from that game.